Welcome back. We're going to go over ULTY, ULTY. There's been a few dividends that have came out since the last time that I put a video up. And so we'll go ahead and go over those here today. For a quick little update, I'm going to be going over the 4 different ways of owning ULTY. First one is just the ULT DRIP and no DRIP for the last 1 year. As you all know, back in March, they did the reorganization and things changed quite a bit. So first I'm going to go over what happened before the reorganization and kind of give you an update since then. And then also do the DRIP and no DRIP of owning ULTY since the change happened. So first we're going to go over the ULTY with no DRIP for the last 1 year. So the last time that I was going over everything with you guys, the overall price of ULTY after investing $10,000 1 year ago was $10,844. $10,932. On August 1st, there was another dividend that was put out at 10 cents, and then 10 cents again in 8/7 and 8/14 was also 10 cents. Kind of been a trend with ULTY over mid-August was to get the 10-cent dividends. However, on the 28th, it dropped down to about 9.5 cents. So since we're not dripping that, our overall dividend came out to $6,701. And that's from the initial $10,000 investment, buying $735 worth of stock. So overall value was $10,892. So I'm easily 8.93% return on investment. Not very good. So that would be ULTY for August. And then in September, there were 3 more dividends that came out. Both around, or all 3 of them, a little bit over 9 cents. And there's also X date that just happened today that was also around 9 cents. So those dividends were $68, $66 each week. So overall total dividend value was $6,904. The ETF price has also continued to trend down. And as you can see, it's down to $5.59 on the 18th of September. So an overall value of $11,000 from a $10,000 investment. That's a 10% return on investment. While it's not as flashy and as promising as what ULTY was supposed to do, it's not an overall horrible bad return on 10%. When we go back to what happened since March, things are a little bit different since they did the update in their protocols for March. When we left, it was at the end of July, and there was a $12,000 overall ULTY value. That goes on with doing no DRIP. We were able to buy a lot more shares because in March the share price had came down quite a bit to $6.70 as opposed to what it was at $13 in July. So you're able to buy quite a bit more. So your dividends are a little bit more since then. So in September, once again, we had the 10-cent dividends with the 9.49 cent dividend at the end of August. So we were able to get roughly $750 worth of dividends through the month. And that adds up to a total of $12,807 for total dividends from our initial investment of $10,000. So 28.08% return on investment. Through the month of September, there have been 3 9-cent dividends, giving us a total of $13,054 of, the total value is $13,054. Our total dividends are $8,034. I misspoke on the last one. And the total dividends through the month of August was $8,500 with a total value of $12,000 In September, it's 8,343 with a total value of 13,000. So that has a 30.55% return on investment. While once again, it's not as big and sexy as what was originally thought for ULTY. A 30% return on any stock is not too bad. When you go to dripping ULTY, it's a little bit different. So this is from the 1 year. We were able to buy 735 shares initially with a $10,000 investment. When we left at the end of July, we were up to 1,919 shares. And overall dividends at that time was 9,718. So when you combine the $9,718 with the share price of $6.25 per share of 1,900, you get a total of $12,197 for your overall value of ULTY. In the month of August, once again, the 10-cent dividends, just like we had for the last two. So our overall dividends were roughly about close to a little bit over $1,000. And we were able to reinvest that for $2,087 or 2,087 total shares. So when you have the overall value of $12,000, that's a 20% return, not too bad. And then when you go through the month of September, once again, you get the 9 cents dividend, adding up another $600 of dividends, able to buy 2,192, almost 2,193 shares of ULTY. However, the ETF price has fallen even more. Now it's down to $5.59. So your overall value from your $10,000 investment is at $12,000. Now, when we look at it, what happened in March, or when we bought it in March, and we look at what happened up until now, it's a little bit different as well. This looks a little bit better. So we were able to purchase 1,492 shares initially with our $10,000 investment. And at that time, we dripped it back into buying only ULTY. So at the end of July, we had 2,146 shares for an overall value of $13,000 and $633 with the ETF price of $6.25. When you look through the month of August, we were getting a little bit over $1,000 for about $1,100 for the total dividends that month. And we were able to buy about 150 more shares of ULTY. Now, granted, the stock price ended up dropping down, as did the dividend near the end. So we actually lost about $100 by dripping in the month of August. We went from 13,633 down to 13,524. But we were able to buy roughly close to 200 shares through the month. When you look at what happened in September, you were able to get another quite a bit of shares. And at that time, sorry about the little misdirection there. So we went from 33 shares at the end of August, and now we're at 2451 shares. So we bought about 120 shares. And at this time, or as of 9/18, we had 2,492 shares overall at a stock price of $5.59. So you had a $13,933 from your initial $10,000 investment for a 39.33% return on investment just from March. Once again, overall, it's not as good as it could be, but a 39% return on investment on any stock, people would be pretty happy with. So that's it for ULTY. There was another dividend that was just released today, also just a little bit over 9 cents a share. So I'll update that here in the near future again. Have a good day. Thanks.